Hello Blue Streaks and welcome back to this third edition of JCTV4 StreakNation. I'm Rachel Vadaj.
And I'm Danny Markino.
Let's get started. The softball season is just now getting underway. The Blue Streaks are coming off a 22-17 year and an appearance in the OAC tournament, which was their 8th consecutive. Led by a slew of experienced upperclassmen, the team packed up and headed south for the winter. Well, spring. Their spring training trip took them to Clermont, Florida, where they opened up the season in a grand fashion by knocking out the number 11 team in the country, the Alma College Scots. The team commenced with a blustery 14-7 win over the University of Northwestern. Now, the team has 20 full days to prepare for their next game and the grind of the rest of the season. The next scheduled game is due up for March 24th when John Carroll travels to Hiram to take on the Terriers. The team's home opener is set for Thursday, March 31st, when the Battling Bishops of Ohio Wesleyan come to University Heights for an afternoon doubleheader. Thanks, Danny. Now let's do a quick wrap-up on the JCU volleyball team from the last couple of weeks. Heidelberg, 1-3 loss. Then swept Buffalo State. Swept Marietta, then got swept by Baldwin Wallace. But then, what better way to celebrate senior night than taking the W to celebrate too? On October 24th, the Blue Streaks dominated over Capital in a back-to-back-to-back sweep. Now, here's the main story for them. 14 years and 15 matches later, the JCU volleyball team ends the losing streak against the Pulper Raiders, defeating Mount Union 3-1. Key players include Leah Switalski, leading all players from racking up 18 kills over 4 sets. Also on the leaderboard is Sarah Orlandi with 12 kills. Maddie McDonald topped the game with 6 blocks. With 24 digs is Sarah Kaminsky and Kit Shaughnessy with 41 assists. With this win secured, JCU's next task is defeating Muskingum. By beating the Fighting Muskies, the Streaks have a chance to play on their home court on the 3rd or 4th OAC tournament seed. If not, the Streaks will have to hit the road for the rest of the playoff run. So far, the Streaks are 14-12 overall. Now let's kick it over to Caitlin Salvino for your update on football. So far, Blue Streaks are picking up where they left off, currently holding a 2-2 record and being led in goals by the highly potent offensive weapon, Declan O'Grady. O'Grady currently has just as many goals as the next 3 people that follow him on the list combined. Each of JCU's 4 opponents have been from 4 different states: Ohio, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Georgia. And that trend will continue as teams from Pennsylvania and Michigan are still on the schedule. The team will take a week off before hosting the St. Vincent College Bearcats here in University Heights this upcoming Wednesday afternoon. First, let's dive into the swim team's update. Pun intended. We'll start with the ladies first. You've heard the phrase, every second counts. On Halloween, the ladies of the swimming team understood this well. At a meet against the Polar Bears, the Blue Streaks lost 147-152. Less than 1 second separated the Blue Streaks from grasping the win in 6 events. However, some JCU victories were thrown into the mix. Lindsay Fano placed first with the 100 and 200 breaststroke. Ann Crowley flew to first in the 100 butterfly. Jane Verdi dominated the 500 free. Sam Clark won the 1 and 3 meter dive. For the 400 relay, Carly Adams, Amanda Casamata, Ann Crowley, and Lindsay Fano teamed up to earn the W. Despite coming out on top in 8 events against Ohio Northern, JCU was splashed with a 2nd consecutive loss, putting the team at 0-2 in the OAC. The women's swimming and diving team have surfaced to a phenomenal year, as head coach Mark Finno was named 2016 Coach of the Year, and the team had a runner-up finish in the conference tournament. The men had a great year as well, finishing 3rd overall at the OAC conference meet. Both teams have promising futures ahead with their young and experienced rosters. The women's lacrosse season has kicked off. With just 3 games played so far, their current record stands at 2-1. The girls debuted their season with a win in their home opener played at our very own Don Shula Stadium, with an impressive 20-10 victory over Houghton College. The team lost their second game down in Texas 9-20 against Southwestern University. But the team had a terrific comeback in Illinois with a 13-2 win over Elmhurst College. An individual player award has already been earned so far. Grace Curtolo was named OAC Women's Lacrosse Offensive Player of the Week. The women's soccer team is on a bit of a rough streak with 4 consecutive losses. Their current overall record now stands at 2-8-1. The latest game against Ohio Northern rained down on John Carroll in more ways than one. Even after a 45-minute weather delay, the storm clouds wouldn't shut off, and the Polar Bears shut out the Blue Streaks. The conference record now stands at 0-1, and the Blue Streaks are ranked 8th in OAC standings. The women's soccer team still has 4 home games left in the season, all of which are conference games. So show your support on October 10th, 21st, 27th, and 31st. Overall, the men's soccer team is trying to hold their own. Their current overall record stands at 6-3-1. Their latest game was a 5-1 victory over Otterbein, earning the Blue Streaks their first conference win. With a 1-2 loss to Ohio Northern, John Carroll's conference record is now 1-1. The Blue Streaks are tied for 3rd place in OAC standings. Since 2012, the team has a 27-2-3 home record. This season, the men's soccer team stands undefeated at home with 3 games played at Don Shula Stadium. Hopefully, they'll keep the streak going when they return to their home turf on October 13th, 17th, and 24th. Danny, fill us in on how the football team is doing. The softball team season is off to a fantastic start. With 10 games played in their spring break trip to Clermont, Florida, their current record stands at 8-2. After losing the first game 4-8 against the College of St. Benedict, the team came back with a 6-game win streak. And before heading back to University Heights, the girls ended with a 2-game win streak. On the last day in the Sunshine State, the Blue Streaks swept away University of Northwestern and St. Mary's University, making it a good ride home. This was the softball team's best spring break set since 2012. 3 years ago, the team started out 9-1 and went on to the program's first ever NCAA Division III championship appearance. The team is already earning individual player awards as well. Rachel Burns was named OAC Pitcher of the Week, and Carly Simic earns OAC Softball Hitter of the Week. Congratulations, ladies. Sounds like JCU is having a spectacular spring season so far. Now, let's kick it over to Safita for an update on all things baseball. Thanks, Danny. And for all your latest updates on the Mount Union game, follow your JCTV4 sports team on Twitter at JCUTV. That's once again at JCUTV. We'll be doing some live streaming via Periscope, and we'll see if we can get a camera out there despite the rain. Now, let's kick it over to Caitlin for your update on wrestling's start of the season.
And be sure to follow JCTV4 on all forms of social media.
Absolutely. And of course, for myself, Rachel Vadaj, Danny Marcano, and our 2 sideline reporters, Tommy Richmond and Caitlin Salvino, this has been Streak Nation.